welcome this Saturday afternoon. I am so glad you are here. Hail to the 199. And we have some pretty interesting news. But first, I just want a message to all the Nafo people. You people are so stupid. Oh my god. The Nafo people must I can see them already coping on Twitter. A couple of them replied to me when they're all in. If you want to go argue with some Nafo people, go to Jackson Hinkle's Twitter and just type in the comments in Slava Russia. Just do that. You will get some of the best reaction. But we also have some pretty, unfortunately, in reaction to what happened with Wagner, because Wagner, we were told, oh, Wagner this, Wagner that. Yes, I probably should. I never got to the submarine news, but I just did. It was kind of iffy if you're getting, but.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Poor Lindsay, he was
I've
gonna start doing that thing. He got everything ready, the tissues, lubricant. He got everything ready, and just never happened. Just some things never happen.
500 of these Wagner guys in one night was Donald John Trump. One point I want to make is the only guy who's whacked 400 or 500 of these Wagner guys in one night was Donald John Trump in Syria when they decided they were going to approach an American position in Syria. He sent AC-130s in and waxed them overnight. That's a very unreported story. And but the only guys who had real success against these guys is Trump.
Yeah. Give me that again, because take that from the top. That is probably the most unreported of all the quote unquote fight against ISIS and President Trump standing up to Putin. Nobody ever talks about the time he sent the and people should know those are the massive gunships, right? They can stay over, basically stay over target and just unload on you, right? It's like hell on earth. Talk to me about that, about what Trump did.
Well, you know, I used to fly for AFSOC. I was a helicopter guy, but these AC-130s are brutal. They have, you know, small cannon and then 105 millimeter howitzers in addition to other weapons. And they just fly in a circle and just destroy anything underneath them. And in Syria, there was American positions, special forces positions near some of the wells, and they saw a large force approaching them. My reports were they called Moscow and said, "Are these your people?" And Putin said no. And so Trump sent in 4 or 5, sent in the AC-130s at night and just destroyed 400 to 500 Wagner mercenaries in a couple of minutes. And so, so the Putin not sticking up for Wagner is a longstanding problem simmering in Russia, and this could be related to that.
So apparently, some news has broke, and let me actually get this up from Ukraine maps. Apparently, the charges will be dropped, which, I mean, it's not a good precedent. But also, according to, hang on, this is not what I wanted. I mean, it's kind of what, but let's get. Robert Barnes, who's supposed to be on George Galloway tomorrow, but so. Not that one. Hang on. So there's some. All right, so Wagner channels on Telegram. I've been following a lot of these Telegram channels. Apparently, Wagner channels claim that Prigozhin was guaranteed the following by Putin: that Shoigu will be fired, full amnesty for all Wagner troops, and Prigozhin receives safe passage to Africa. So he will be exiled. He's facing exile. That's what it looks like. It looks like Shoigu, and we're probably going to have Surovikin as the Zhukov, the Marshal Zhukov. Man, this is crazy. And there's some stuff. We'll probably get to that at some point. Not today. Today, we just need to see. Man. There's also rumors that last night the Ukrainians also launched a power offensive to try and take advantage of the situation and got bogged down, and the Ukrainians actually lost territory. What's good morons? But according to many sources, and this is also RT as well, that Alexander Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, was the one who mediated the negotiations between the Russian Ministry of Defense, the government, and the Wagner group. So looks like in the end, Prigozhin's going to get exiled to Africa. Most of the Wagner will be safeguarded, and Shoigu will be fired. So Prigozhin's probably should have gone executed. I mean, if this was Stalin, Prigozhin would not. We would have heard Game Prigozhin dead. So yeah. Wow, what? That was crazy. Like, Jackson Hinkle actually tweeted this out. I was called a lunatic for saying this yesterday. Now everyone who ferociously denied this statement looks like a clown. Prigozhin met with Putin a few days ago. Prigozhin wants Gerasimov and Shoigu out. Prigozhin say this is not a coup. Prigozhin is saying a non-violent seizure of partial military power to achieve his goal of restructuring the Ministry of Defense. This has always been the most likely reality. If not, this could be an odds are this is the odds this is a coup on Putin are zero. And that ended up being partially right because Putin did say that he was against it and wanted them brought to justice. Then Prigozhin came out and stated that such and such. And also, look at that. Yes, The Lion King was released on this date 29 years ago. Best favorite? Too bad they can't. Creators of that film can't just have a good anniversary. So the Wagner Group is pretty. That's the reason. Is this real? Hold up. Is this real? This can't be. Oh, bro, this has gotta be fake. It's gotta be fake. Like, doesn't look like anyone died in this. Just some military equipment destroyed. I hear the ice cream truck. Can y'all hear that? All you in the future. This is a pretty good. It's a crazy thought to me that Americans are cheering on war right now. I am not pro-Russia. I am not pro-Ukraine. I am not pro-Wagner Group. I am pro-people who have suffered the consequences is on the decisions of a small group of people. I have been to combat. I have seen utter destruction. The smell of burning human flesh stick with you forever. Hope it's burning human fucking flesh sticks with you forever. None. There are some here that have zero clue what they are cheering on. None of these people have witnessed chaos firsthand. So call me a Q-nut or whatever dumb shit you want to call me. I do not give two fuck. War's not the answer. That is it. We actually have some Mike and Ike. The Meg Mix Sour. You know what? I'm going to try one on screen. You know me and food. I love food. Who doesn't? I see Steven Seagal trending. This is the real reason why it was stopped, guys. Steven Seagal stopped it. So those Mike and Ikes, those are good. No. Oh my God, Maria Hunt. Netflix. That is great. Yeah. We got some more from Sprinter on where our good pal. So with today's withdrawal of PMCU Wagner, some analysts agree that its group is finished. They lost the support of the Chechens, Cossacks, and Air Force of Russia, as well as General Serovikin and other generals. Also, the people of Russia stood by Putin and their country. And he did not support them. So the future of the Wagners, which admittedly showed exceptional courage and dedication to the goals of Russia, was called in to be reckless That's what you Prigozhin. But obviously, Evgeny Prigozhin's going to face some he's going to face consequences. This isn't like America where you get away scot-free. He's going to get exiled. Bring up a I should just get the clip from Lion King 2 where Simba exiles Kovu. Man, Lukashenko. There's Lindsey Graham. In cope mode. But I've heard a lot of rumors about the resignation of Sergei Shoigu, and I guess Valery Gerasimov, which were the goals. So, guess Prigozhin's still going to get his goals. Man on man. I see Jack Poso. First for the neocons walking out to the ledge right now. Congratulations. You got played. Yeah, prayers for them. You know, especially Lindsay, who is about to have the greatest night of his life. Only for that to happen. Yeah, but apparently he may have been paid off. You remember the missing, like, it was a crazy number. It was 6.2 billion. For some reason I wanted to say 2.6 billion, but yeah, I'm sure you guys remember that. What happened to it? Where the hell did it go? I plan a long ass stream, so don't you worry. Wow. Am Kinzinger. Still trying to stay relevant. Am Kinzinger calls Wagner Rebellion a massive blow to Tucker Carlson. What up? You're just trying to stay relevant. yeah, you're irrelevant. You're probably like Lindsey Graham. You probably don't have a wife or kids. But you're probably closeted gay. We get it. But you also have a fetish for war and death, like Hitler. We get it. But there's got to be better way for you. I mean, come on. Kinsey. Lindsay and Kinsey. Man, that some of these Pash. And so the president of Armenia and President Putin of Russia discussed the situation in Russia by phone. Press service of Armenia. I initially read that as Prigozhin. Like, oh, they're talking. That would have. I probably shouldn't, because WWE will take down my stream. They will strike my channel like a bolt of lightning. Apparently, at least 12 Russian pilots were killed by Wagner. I don't. Cat turd. Hang on. But there's some pork wallet in Jackson Hinkle, and I'm just done giving these people, because that's all they want. They want attention. I ain't giving you attention. Go to someone else's. Go somewhere else if you want attention. I know you need something to jerk yourself to. I know that. But don't make me your jerk off, boy. So apparently, it isn't true about the Shoigun and Gearsmal. I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. How this stuff is gonna go down. All I can say is we're gonna just see how it plays out, the aftermath. I'm not going. Yes, Stephen King is he's become the thing he wrote about. He wrote all those horror books. The Shining, and yeah, he's becoming those horror books, and he's like, Putin sowed the wind. Now he must reap the whirlwind. Slava Ukraini. Yeah, I tried to get Zelensky here. He told me to go F myself in that he was busy crying. You know, pray for Zelensky. Pray for him. Yeah, the Ministry of Ukraine is trying to troll. They just come off as boomers. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine reflects why Russian soldiers are still sitting in dirty trenches and not running to the aid of their comrades on both sides of the conflict. It'd be much safer than confronting the Ukrainian army, the message says. Well, I mean, they did confront you guys. Apparently they pushed you back after you made a counteroffensive, and there's still missile strikes going on in Ukraine. There's still bombing. So I'm pretty sure it's run by some boomer. Like, how they do, fellow kids? That's the defensive. That's a official Ukrainian account. They're just boomers. Just some boomer. So there. So it looks like, though, I do think he probably will be. Man, a lot of these people they'll have such an egg on their face. The world record for the worst age tweet, Jennifer Rubin. I am not going to read this because I don't want to lose any brain cells. But Putin's still in charge. This is off topic, but apparently now the Muppets are a racist brand. Why? Is it because a single Confederate flag was in the background? Yeah, shut the hell up. Yeah. Oh, look who it is. Look at this. This looks like it's the Atlantic. I thought this was the Economist, but it's the Atlantic. Russia slides into civil war. Is Putin facing his Tsar Nicholas II moment? By Anne Applebaum. Oh, remember Anne Applebaum? Remember her husband who congratulated Joe Biden on blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Remember that? Yeah, what a clown. If I had actual good photoshops, I would be beard of shaming these people. Then there's also apparently a bridge collapse into the Yellowstone. A freight train collapsed into the Yellowstone River, and hazardous materials are spraying. Wow. So much to hide from Hunter, because Yevgeny Prigozhin and Alexander Lukashenko talked it out, and which was not part of the plan of the Anglo-American establishment. It was not their plan. They were expecting that at least they thought Prigozhin was going to be as like Grigory Zhukov. They thought he had Zhukov level popularity. Newsflash: that was only after Zhukov really soared to that invincible popularity on the level of Stalin after Nazi Germany fell. A lot of people are. A lot of like, let's see. Yeah. Oh. Why don't we look? Washington, Sputnik. People near the Yellowstone River in the U.S. state of Montana should avoid the water in certain areas around the site of a collapsed bridge and train derail. Oh, so they're bringing that back. They may have some contaminants downstream. Montana Fish and Wildlife Parks, FWP, said on Saturday. At this point, I'm not sure if this is false flags or just general incompetence. Probably both, if I'm going to be honest. So, this is the tweet. A train derailment, I think a train derailment in the Yellowstone River has led to the closure of parts of the Yellowstone and Stillwell rivers. Montana FWP said in a statement via Twitter. From Twin Bridges Road to Buffalo Mirage fishing access site, the public should avoid water due to potential contaminants. So, if you're in Montana, I'm not sure where everyone is from, but I'm sure that there are people in this fellowship who are from Montana. Beautiful state from what I've seen. But portions of the waterway have also been closed to boaters and floaters. Montana FWP said, adding that officials will update closures as necessary. Montana FWP shared images of the site where it appears a bridge collapsed and a train derailed into the Yellowstone River, including several tankers. So, remember a couple months ago in Michigan and chemical spills? Now we have this. The submarine. So they knew about the submarine. They just wanted to keep that in the light because to distract from Hunter Biden, which is kind of sick. They had to immediately when that started to die down, they bring this in. The hazardous spills are back. When are UFOs? I mean, they're just recycling in between Russia, Ukraine, UFOs, chemical spills, Donald Trump. We need a bingo card. We need some bingo. I will pitch the idea to Zelensky. Perhaps he'll be the one who cuts that promo. Zelensky will cut a couple promos actually for me. Hang on. So this is it. So there's also wildfires. My God, there's so much. So Montana state officials are saying goodbye to support as Montana railing and county official assassinate Governor Greg Forte. Gianforte. Come on, I'm Italian. I should know this. Said in a statement. So U.S. Congressman it should probably say from Montana, Matt Rosendale likewise said in a statement he is tracking the situation and has been in contact with the local, state, and federal officials. I think Montana only have one congressman, because if you remember, the electoral college is kind of based off of how many representatives a state has. So all in the based on population, the House of Representatives, and then the Senate, it's always going to be 2 seats. Track in contact with local, state, and federal officials. There appears to be no immediate threat at this time, but the public is nevertheless urged to avoid the areas around the train bridge, Rosendale said. Water treatment facilities in the nearby local towns of Laurel, Billings, and Lockwood have been shut down. Rosendale has also said urging residents in those areas to conserve water, which probably is the best thing. I mean, if you're in Montana, hopefully you have a high quality water filter, because you're going to need it. But there's probably some significance behind the Yellowstone River. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's due to our crumbling infrastructure. Or our infrastructure is terrible. And then you see in China, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, all have some of the best, some high-speed trains. Like, what are we doing? Apparently now the Russians, they weren't going to give. They were still operation. Now look, they're conducting operations on the remnants of ISIS and the Free Syrian Army in Syria. With the Syrian civil war, it's gone too long. There's attempts to negotiate something. Pompeo, the mad man who bragged about killing Russians, and I don't say madman in a good way. He wanted Assange dead. He wanted to kill Russians. Snowden. UFC parody account is funny. This is honestly one of the funnier. I don't get it. Is the war over now? Did we? Yes, AOC, Putin's out. Prigozhin's in. Here's a good image. I'm saving this. I will save that image gladly. It really must suck. Apparently, Alex on Twitter was in one of these groups, and he was next to Malcolm Nance, the guy who went to, quote, serve in Ukraine, went full show. Yeah, that guy. Oh, don't want to show that. The Truny Tunes, that's a account that I don't even want to follow. God, I feel so bad. Heck, even Shitposting Gateway was in one of these. I think he was in the same one with Jackson Hinkle. One of the same one with Jackson Hinkle. But yeah. Also, the Wagner troops in Rostov are leaving.
Мы находимся в Ростове-на-Дону. проспекте Буденновском, вблизи здания штаба Южного военного округа, где около суток сохранялась напряженная атмосфера в связи с присутствием людей в военной форме и военной техники в центре города. Как мы можем наблюдать, в городе устанавливается спокойная атмосфера, люди радуются разрешению ситуации и тому, что город скоро вернется к мирной жизнедеятельности. На фоне вы можете наблюдать людей в военной форме, которые готовятся покидать свои позиции, а также военную технику, в частности, например, танк, который...
So, Wagner is withdrawing. Got getting retweeted by Kerry. Hey, War Room got some stuff with that because a lot of people want Kerry Lake has new. And then we got, as the vice president for Trump, there's this. Robert Barnes, the Russian dolls, and then we got Ed Bergosian. I would go to the actual Wagner Cope, not the actual Nafo Cope though. But I don't want anyone, including me, to lose brain cells when the coup fails in Russia. Oh, you poor. Good on you. Elsa Harris and Smith of InfoWars. That's all I have to say. That's something. Pro Zelensky bloggers hearing that. Man, I would have brought Zelensky. You know, he might do a video later on just saying how much he appreciates how he feels. To wipe the... There's so much going on. Who's having... I'd say Lindsey Graham. Though look, his boyfriend, Kinsey, Lindsey and Kinsey, you know, Zelensky's butt buddies, they're also having a pretty bad day. Yeah. He's so much. Wagner forces are coming to take Moscow, and we're going to have a new president soon. Wagner freedom fighters from terrorist alarm. I guess another NAFO. So we got some terror alarm. Wagner terrorists reach a ceasefire with Moscow. You can hear the coping and seething when you're reading this. Oh my God. They must have thought that they were like, I mean, literally, these people are like little kids. I'm not sure if any of them have hit puberty yet. It's hard to know. It really is hard to know. There's a lot. And on, there is a lot going on. Trump 2024 is the Godfather. I really hate Godfather Part 3 is one of the worst films. I've only seen part that, in my opinion, that bad. And I hear people say, oh, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. No, it's really, it's one of the worst things ever. Protests are apparently going on in Israel. People of Israel and Palestine are coming together against the corrupt Israeli Mossad leadership. Try and guess this. Let's see. The United States will postpone the imposition of new sanctions against the PMCs. The new sanctions were to be announced on Tuesday, but Washington is afraid the world thinks they are supporting Russia. Oh my God. This is actually just shows you, like, Lionel. Bro, like, he looks like Mike from. Oh my God. Wow, this is from probably one of the actual only good guys. One of the few people from the Daily Wire I actually kind of like. Mainstream media is lying. Ukraine's not winning the war. The Russian army will not be weaker after any of this before. West prolonging the war with no real threat of action anyway means more Ukrainians citizens dying. Military industrial complex profiting massively. Eisenhower warned of the military industrial complex. I want to see a real coup. I said a real coup. Perfection. Oh, man. What a I just have to say, let's see. Anything else? Holy crap, Zelensky! You know, we gotta get him on. Actually,
Человек из Кремля, очевидно, очень боится и, наверное, прячется где-то, не показывается. Уверен, что уже не в Москве. Звонит куда-то, выпрашивает там что-то. Он знает, чего боится, потому что он сам создал эту угрозу. Все зло, все потери, вся ненависть. Он это сам распространяет. И чем дольше еще он сможет перебегать между своими бункерами, тем больше потеряете вы все, кто связан с Россией. Что будем делать мы, украинцы? А мы будем защищать свою страну, мы будем защищать свою свободу. Мы не будем молчать и не будем бездействовать. Мы умеем побеждать, и это будет. Наша победа в этой войне будет. Человек из Кремля.
oh, you know what? We'll have Zelensky on, and first question I'll probably ask him is, I'll have a tape to air one. I'll ask him if he will agree to a tape to air interview. I don't think he wants a live one for whatever reason. But he wants me, if he wants a tape to air one, I will give it to him. But I guess he's on his period. That's why. Not enough cocaine for the counteroffensive. So, let's see. Breaking. U.S. officials knew of the plans from the Wagner Group to lead a rebellion against Russia. Intelligence officials briefed some members of Congress earlier this week. Apparently, intelligence officials have known for some time of the coming rebellion and may have even had a part in unconfirmed. The leader of the group claims his march was about an attack on his men in a military camp in Ukraine. So apparently these McCarthy, Pelosi, McConnell, Schumer, Turner, Shifty Shift, Rubio, and Varner. Take this with a grain of salt, though. Take everything you see here. Some of this could be Nafo. So Wagner are heading back to Ukraine. You know, I know we are all hoping for a fight between Wagner and the Chechens, but that ain't happened, fam. Now, we should get Prigozhin, the leader of the Chechens, to do a boxing match for charity, or even with Khabib. You know, the other guy. Yeah, but I think we need Zelensky back on at some point. He's too busy. You know, I'm probably not going to have him on now. Maybe Monday. He will host a bit. You know, tomorrow we'll do a tape to air interview and I will upload it on Monday because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream on Monday given my schedule. So tomorrow I'll try and get a taped air interview with Volodymyr Zelensky out. Well, this is wartime propaganda as well. Robert Barnes. So aged about as well as his DeSantis will be the next president predicting. So this is Steve Deese. From the day Putin launched the war upon Ukraine, I said it was win or go home for him. He is an aging autocrat presiding over a thugocracy, and he looks old and weak. One of his rival thugs will challenge him for the Kremlin's master bedroom. Unable to subdue Ukraine for over Europe, here's that day to say, wow, a lot of these people's tweets are aging well, and they know that it's not going to go away because people will snapshot them like hell. African leaders who have contract with Wagner right now. Wow. Yeah, British intelligence recommends Kiev not to start the second phase of the counteroffensive, but to focus on informational and psychological work in the context of the situation surrounding Wagner and the functions in the fluctuating situation within the Russian Federation. Well, I mean, situation looks done. This is probably why Zelensky can't. He's probably having a fucking anxiety crisis or something. I don't know if anxiety crisis is an actual thing. I'll assume for all fair use, yeah, it is. Yeah, can we get this back? Can we just? Well, loser, Stephen King. Apparently, Stanley Kubrick liked to troll Stephen King when Stanley Kubrick was making The Shining. Stephen King was helping him to get accurate to the book, and Stanley Kubrick was Jewish. Stephen King claims to be Christian, I guess. I don't know. Personally, I don't care. But during a phone call, King asked Kubrick, "Do you have to believe in God or something, right?" And I forgot. He was like, "I guess so. I don't think so, actually." Kubrick said it was something. I'll have to look up the story. But Volodymyr Zelensky has supported the action of Evgeny Prigozhin, the founder of the PVK Wagner, who was prosecuted for inciting rebellion and claims that Russia has shown its weakness in the constant event. Zelensky wrote on his Telegram channel that Russia is allegedly experiencing chaos and that Russia's weakness is obvious. Then go launch your offensive. If Russia's weak, go launch your offensive. Why are the British telling you not to launch the second phase? Why aren't you launching your offensive, Zelensky? They're weak. Come on. Just do it. Like Shia LaBeouf said, just do it. Earlier, the head of the main intelligence director of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, Kirill Bundov, actually justified Prigozhin's action, saying that he was allegedly mostly telling the truth, especially about the equipment of Russian forces in the hostilities. The shovel. Yeah. Aha. Wow. And there's apparently Belarus, I heard a couple days ago, is currently in the process of conducting exercises. More neocon copium. All right, we got some more Nafo Cope here. So Lars Wilderang, PPCG, post progression coup depression. Is this real? Is he one of these Nafo people or is he just mocking? I don't know. Got some stuff about 5G. What the hell? Wagner, soldiers of the Wagner Group begin to leave the territory near the headquarters of the Southern Military District in Rostov-on-Don. Apparently, we're supposed to face Jamaica. I don't know. They're real. You really think? Where's Zaluzhny? Hey, Zelensky, where's Zaluzhny? Tell me where Zaluzhny is now. You know, that will be a question I ask him. Where is Zaluzhny? Is he safe? Is he all right? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I followed this account not because they do tweet sometimes based up, but not sure about that. Like, what the? Okay. Why are you tweeting Why is there freaking Anther Snake Yoga now? Albic several, like, what the? They retweet. Oh, I might not be able to. I might have to be careful going forward. I might just make this stream private. Oh my god. So, by the way, the weekend coup may be over, or yet the armed forces managed to get within 150 miles of Moscow and have to give concession to a man you said was a traitor. Makes it look weak. Not the emperor has zero clothes. The Russian people have heard the truth. War was not needed against Ukraine. That is copium. You realize those concessions mean that there's going to be possibly more hardliners shown. More hardliners. That means that they're not going to be as reserved. You're going to regret this. Yeah, there is so much. Coping. They are. Yeah, the Stone River situation. They're man, just checking some stuff, just seeing. Apparently, Prigozhin was on the FBI's most wanted list. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is real or not. Because it might be. Maduro's. Look at this. Apparently, we got condemnation coming from Nicolas Maduro. The president of Venezuela condemned the irrational threat of a rebellion. The irrational threat of a rebellion, PMC Wagner. RIA. Wagner will lose a law contract. I bet Maduro won't hire them anymore. I didn't know that. And he hired them in the first place. There's what? Yeah.
For people within the Russian government to turn on Putin, this was the best time to take out the king, and yet they all stood firm with him. And other than this other than Prigozhin obviously going after him, no one turned on him, and this was the best time to do so. If anything, it shows that he's got extreme loyalty amongst the government. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are exactly how you summed it up. The only voices that we could hear that were speaking out against Putin and saying that now's the time to take him out were not even Zelensky said that, right? I don't think he even said that. I think he just wanted chaos. Was the opposition party that's, I guess, living in exile or whatever, right? The opposition leader, who's probably just one woman in her apartment, making that claim saying that, Wagner needs to go in, that the Russian people need to stand up. This is your chance to rid yourself of the shackles of the Putin regime, blah, 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 right? That obviously never happened. Everybody stood behind Putin. The soldiers stood behind him. The governor stood behind him. The military, the police, every single person. So if anything, like I said, he has consolidated his power here and shown not just to the world, but to the Russian people that he has the full backing, not only of the establishment, but also, the opposition parties in Russia. Like I saw the Communist Party, who was in opposition to Putin's party. They backed him, right? They backed him 100% of the way. They called him the Supreme Commander, and they said that, this coup needs to be shut down, et cetera, et cetera. We are all Russians. They, like every single person that I saw who made a statement on this, in Russia, as well as his allies, were firmly behind him, and they simply repeated all of the rhetoric that he had spoken during his speech. Not a single one of them stood out of line, tried to step up and say, yeah, now's the time to take him out. He did not show weakness here, and they did not sense any weakness from him, because if they did, I'm sure they would have taken him out, but they didn't, right? And they know better, and it's probably good for them that they took their positions.
So assuming just more.
I don't get this.
Hold on,
like
but Joe,
this
just give me a
super
second. Jimmy,
pro-Russian.
Wait, Joe, and then I'm going to push it on to Khaleesi also. So I'm tracking a total of 7. I just did it right now. 7 Russian Air Force jets are just left recently within the last 30 minutes Moscow. 7 Russian jets have just vacated Moscow. Go ahead, Khaleesi.
How big are these jets?
Thanks, all sorts. Sorry, Mickey. So the president of Venezuela condemned the irrational threat of a rebellion, quoting Wagner. Pentagon says that the U.S. will stay in close coordination with allies and partners as the situation continues to develop. So I think the Pentagon still expects this to develop, or maybe someone's not really updated Biden. And the Kremlin says it doesn't know where Prigozhin is as of now. And the Kremlin's also issued a further statement saying Wagner fighters who did not take part in the march will sign contracts with the defense ministry. I don't know what those contracts are about. But also, in addition, Sky News is reporting that Prigozhin, he's saying on the record, the reason why he turned back was because he didn't want bloodshed, which personally to me, I can't imagine you take action like you did. And then you say, but I didn't want bloodshed, because obviously, there's a purpose to this. Kremlin is now saying Prigozhin will move to Belarus. This is a statement from the Kremlin. Prigozhin will move to Belarus.
Oh,
so go ahead, Nikki. Sorry to interrupt you again.
No problem. I was just asking all sorts how these jets that are leaving Moscow, are these fighter jets? Are these small passenger jets? Are these huge?
These are all. It looks like they're all jets, and some of them are smaller passengers. Like they're all they're pretty big. I mean, you have IL-62s. That's just like a normal passenger jet. Let me just see. Same, a smaller passenger jet. But these are all passenger jets from the Russian Air Force that have left. Well, this one they're basically, for the most part, it looks like they're all in one way, shape, or form. I have to go each one, but passenger jets. And there's a lot of chatter on Twitter saying if this is part of the agreement or what's going on, why all these Air Force jets are now vacating Moscow currently.
And they all seem to be going in the same direction, right? It looks like, from what I can see.
So right now, I see a lot are heading east and a couple are heading south. But if somebody can go to ADSB and see, and if you guys can DM it to me, if they show lists their final destination, but on Flight Radar, all of them are listing as final destination not available. So they're not progressing their final destination, at least from Flight Radar 24. If anybody gets information that confirms their final destination, let me know. But I think we're just going to have to track them and see where they all finally go, and see if this is something significant or not. I don't want people to draw one conclusion or another. It's just something, I think, an important information with everything that's gone in the last couple of hours.
So Peskov was asked whether Putin still trusts the head of Ministry of Defense, and Peskov's response was, I'm not aware of any changes in this regard. Doesn't sound very promising. What do you think?
Well, he's not aware.
Peskov said that. So Peskov just said openly right now that he is not aware of any changes in the Russian MOD?
No, so the actual question was asked to him was, does Putin still trust the head of the MOD? And his response was, I'm not aware of any changes in this regard.
I mean, maybe he doesn't want to jump the gun. Maybe this is because I believe Putin is going to announce he's going to have a speech soon, right? I think I remember hearing that. Do we know exactly the time?
The time it's going to be, we're just checking, and I've got the news on. So as soon if it comes on Sky News or any of the channels that I'm watching, I'll just interject straight away and we'll stream it because they will be putting it in English. So we're just waiting. We have no idea, but we're just waiting all sorts.
And if you remember, not too long ago, there was a press op between Shoigu and Putin, and I think most sort of experts at the time were saying that Putin was giving an extreme cold shoulder, not only in body language but in words, towards Shoigu himself in public, and sort of dressing it was sort of a more subtle way of dressing him down. Many people suggesting it was related to what Putin believes is a failed effort in the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, I got some breaking news also. Sorry. So just from TASS, the Russian state media, quote, the criminal case against Prigozhin will be dropped and he will move to Belarus, Kremlin says, quoting TASS.
If you are Belarus and you're Lukashenko, you are certainly not happy about that. You don't want 25,000 private military contractors loyal to Evgeny Prigozhin living in your country. Like, that is a recipe for disaster. I cannot imagine anyone in Belarus is happy about that.
That's part of the deal. And this is a statement from Peskov. The criminal case against Prigozhin will be dropped. He will go to Belarus. That's directly from Peskov himself.
I mean, that's basically Putin saying, I'll give you Belarus if you promise to leave.
I said that earlier, and he went further because he was asked, Peskov was asked, what's he going to do in Belarus? And he said, I don't know what he's going to do.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah,
He can do whatever he wants.
But what I can tell you is the authorities will not persecute those Wagnerites who took part in the rebellion, given their frontline merits. Don't know what Prigozhin's going to do in Belarus, but we will present the most combat-ready army in the world to Belarus, or is it a Trojan horse? I don't know.
He is going to do whatever he wants to do. It's like, what does, where does a 10,000-pound gorilla poop in the woods? Anywhere it wants. Prigozhin can do whatever he wants in Belarus. And what it sounds like to me is, I'm speculating here, is Putin said, look, I'll give you what you want and I'll give you Belarus. How about you go home? And he said, okay. And that's what it sounds like. There's nobody in Belarus can do anything about Prigozhin doing anything. So he's well-armed, well-trained, well-equipped, way better equipped than anyone in Belarus. If I was Lukashenko, I would be super unhappy about that.
Let me go to Haz. Haz, what's your thoughts on what we've been discussing, this events that have occurred over the last 22 hours? Would love to hear your overall thoughts.
So the decisive element in any kind of conflict within Russia, first of all, I think an anti-war position would be a non-starter. The liberal position of opposing the patriotic cause, so to speak, I don't think has much potential, never had much potential. Prigozhin, if I were to guess, would have had an ability to pose an internal security threat based on this kind of, spontaneous, almost populistic appeal to the patriotic sentiments of Russian soldiers, specifically in the Russian army, against the so-called oligarchs and against the so-called corruption. His rhetoric was actually the most surprising thing, in my view, where he seemed to speak against the legitimating cause of the special military operation, not necessarily condemning the patriotic cause, but basically saying that, the people of Donbass were betrayed and so on and so forth. So I think this is an element that's being underlooked. And those Western liberal commentators who wanted the victory of Wagner, I think really don't understand where this conflict was coming from, at least at the level of anyone who might support Wagner. We don't really know what Prigozhin's motives are or who's supporting him or who's backing him. But his ability to speak to masses, his ability to actually get support from which it decisively has to be the Russian military, is not coming from some kind of pro-Western side. It's actually the complete opposite. But overall, I think all of Russian civil society, as many have said already, including the opposition, seemed to stand behind the legal system of Russia, the legal procedures of the Russian state. And I don't think Russian people are interested in any kind of wild military coup. As far as...
Let me ask you a question, yeah? So what about this situation where it looks like Prigozhin's going to go to Belarus? It looks like there's an agreement about possibly demoting Gerasimov and Shoigu. If these things happen, does that, in your mind, make Putin look weak?
No, I don't necessarily think it does. I think Putin's relationship to the cause of the event appears, as surprisingly as that may seem, to be a little bit limited, right? This was really aimed at Shoigu and the Ministry of Defense. Prigozhin, at least until Putin himself decided to intervene with his speech, didn't really, as we know, target Putin. I think Putin came out looking strong. He rallied the entirety of Russian civil society, all of the legitimate voices of Russian political society, including the opposition, against this. And
It's on Sky News. I'm just going to stream it quickly.
These people who are responsible will certainly be brought to justice on behalf of our people. Restrictive measures have been taken in Moscow, the Moscow region, and lots of other regions. The situation around Rostov remains, however, very complicated. As President of Russia and Commander-in-Chief, as a citizen of Russia, I am doing everything to repel this attack and to ensure the freedom and security of our citizens. Those who mutiny have betrayed Russia, and I urge anybody involved in it to cease any kind of part in armed conflict. Russia is waging a very difficult struggle for its sovereignty, and particularly helped, of course, by the propaganda machine of the West. We are fighting for the security of our people, for the right to be and remain Russia as a state. This is a lethal threat to our state, to our nation. It is a strike against our people and our state, and the punishment for this monstrous activity will be very harsh.
The punishment for this activity.
That's a speech from earlier.
That's just that's from yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's from yesterday. That's not a new speech. No, it's yesterday's speech.
Yeah, that's a speech from yesterday.
It's quite surprising, guys, because I was just going to interject earlier to say that Peskov had released a statement saying there's going to be no new televised address by Putin. And I read that in 2 different places. So I thought, okay, chill. And it just started all of a sudden unannounced.
So that's not, that's yesterday's speech.
That's yesterday's speech, isn't
yes,
it?
It is.
The one from earlier.
It is from yesterday. Yeah, it's not the new speech. This is from Mark's yesterday.
Okay, well, that's fine then. So what Peskov has said, he said, Moscow appreciates Lukashenko's mediation efforts. No new televised address by Putin is planned. Personnel changes in the Ministry of Defense are the prerogative of the President of the Russian Federation and were hardly discussed during contacts to resolve the rebellion. Putin continued to work in the Kremlin all day. No changes on the subject of Putin's trust in the defense minister are known. The situation with the rebellion will not affect the course of the special operation in any way. Lukashenko offered himself as a negotiator, as he's known Prigozhin for more than 20 years. The evening conversation between Putin and Lukashenko was lengthy, frank, warm, and very constructive. Lukashenko's mediation efforts were implemented to avoid bloodshed. And the last one is, it is impossible to say exactly when the CTO regime, this is the counterterrorism regime, will be lifted. Now there will be all the prerequisites before removal.
So let me go to Live Monitor for his thoughts. But just before I do, just want to thank every single person who's contributed to this. We've been going now for between the Imran Khan space and interview and this space. We've been going for 24 hours straight. So awesome job by the team in the back. Awesome job by All Source, Mario, everybody else who's contributed, Ian, all the panelists, Khaleesi, Mickey, every single person, Patrick. Hope I haven't missed anyone, but yeah, I appreciate everybody's contribution to giving people live updates about what's happening with in-depth analysis from various angles of positions. So much appreciated. Live, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the events that have been occurring over the last 22 hours.
Well, I mean, I think everybody needs to take a step back here and look at this logically. I mean, Wagner, they have maybe 5,000 to 10,000 troops inside of Russia at the moment with subpar armaments and, you know, a billionaire that's barely a billionaire trying to fund this whole thing. I just, you know, to make a story that these guys were going to march into Russia, into Moscow, depose Putin, and change the Ministry of Defense, and so on and so forth, of all these other, you know, comments coming out of, you know, the media today, it's just, you know, it's a little bit silly, really. You know, nothing happens with Wagner without Putin or his inner circle absolutely signing off on it. They're the ones really supporting Wagner financially and with military arms. So let's you know, try to look at this a little bit more objectively and a little bit more logically. You know, I really don't like, you know, these doomsday commentary from people, you know, saying that Putin's fleeing Moscow, Putin's going to be deposed. I've even seen, you know, comments saying Putin's going to be dead by, you know, the evening and whatnot. You know, coups are no joke. You know, usually they are very violent. They're very quick. The bloodshed is, you know, tremendous, and they go after the leadership. And they did none of these things. It was a slow roll up, you know, up to Moscow, where, you know, the leader of Wagner was, you know, making telegram declarations and whatnot. And I just, you know, I really didn't take it seriously to begin with. I mean, to me, this was nothing more than a staged event for Putin to justify changing some things in the Ministry of Defense, probably some opposition that he was facing.
Let me ask you a question. If that's the case, why did Putin let Prigozhin shoot down 4 of his helicopters?
7 helicopters.
I'm sorry,
okay.
7 helicopters. That would be the greatest air defeat in the history of Russia
and,
since World War
one
II.
IL-22 communication center plane as well.
Okay, that's understandable, and I can understand why people would think that. But let's just be, let's take this a little bit more, let's bring this down to earth a little bit. You cannot control everybody all the time, and of course you're going to have little skirmishes here and there because that's just
But
the
you
way.
literally just said that they don't make a move without Putin. Now you're saying they can't control everyone.
You don't make a move when it comes to the top decisions. You cannot control the guys on the ground shooting at helicopters all the time. There's going to be skirmishes without question. You can't.
That's not a skirmish. That's the greatest air defeat in Russia's history since World War II. That's not a small thing. I mean, 7 helicopters plus an airplane. I mean, that's not small.
And it's a communication airplane, which is vital for command and control for Russia. That utilizes that to control the battlefield. That plane was deployed to ensure command and control of the forces fighting Wagner and to get the situation. Wagner saw it, said that is a threat. If we want to maintain military superiority and degrade Russia's combat power, we need to shoot that down. They don't have that many of those flying around. That's a critical asset for any air force, and they lost it in this fight.
Well,
And that's not shot down by some rogue.
So who does this show?
Some rogue agent.
It shows the world that Russia's military or even its mercenaries are capable of taking down attack helicopters and a plane that try to engage its forces.
So I don't understand how's that relevant to Putin trying to use this as a way to solidify control, so that then Wagner can demonstrate its military powers that I thought they already demonstrated when they seized Bakhmut. Look, this was an armed rebellion by Prigozhin. He wanted to go to Moscow. Putin caved, gave all his demands, basically. So then Prigozhin said, okay, I'm out. I got what I want. I don't want to go further than this. And I'm going to go to Belarus now. And now Lukashenko, who is hoping that Prigozhin doesn't do the same to him, because if Prigozhin does this in Belarus, Prigozhin is president of Belarus.
Yeah, and I think the story about Putin consolidating power, it doesn't make sense to me because he's already consolidated power. Unless you're telling me that Putin wasn't really in control of things, which I don't buy that. So why would he need to consolidate power? He's already consolidated. Why would he want to lose? Why would he want to have his? If you're the commander in chief and you're allowing your soldiers to get killed, doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't make you look good. I think
but
best case scenario.
No one killed it.
God, these Nafo people. It is raining out. Let's actually see if there's any more. That was kind of painful to watch. Listen to. Let's get this up. We're starting to we're waking up. So, Jack Posobiec, Titanic sub, fake. Wagner crew, fake. What's next? Well, I guess the Yellowstone River, but you need something real. They can't keep having these fake things. Apparently Putin is supposed to have a meeting on Monday with the Ministry of Defense. That's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. God damn it. Why does that look so good? Why? I'm trying to check the weather. Super so thunder and lightning storm for a while. Going into tomorrow. God, the fucking map of it. Bro, this is dirty. This is dirty. The map of it over New York. It looks so dirty. I don't know what these memes are anymore at this point. They're just so cool. Maybe we should not. Understandable. Have a great day. Shoiku. Ivan Trump buried at Trump National is looking fishier by the second. If you actually believe the administration concealed the unfortunate fates of the submarines in order to check no distract from anything, congratulations, you're a culty conspiracy theorist and asshole. Defiant L's. Yeah, Jojo from Jers. Such a. If she. I think she is from Jers. Because she does match the description. Hot but stupid. Now that Putin is gone, the world will be a safer place. Stuff that AOC would tweet. A lot of neocon deleting pro-Prigozhin tweets right now. Bloomberg, on Saturday, Ukraine couldn't contain joy despite the fact that Russia continued to shell the capital and other cities with rockets. Means of picking Hill preparing to watch the developments with their popcorn and hand-flooded Ukraine social network. There are also jokes that they're ready to massively donate weapons to the Wagner PMC fighters. At the same time, the armed forces of Ukraine pulled up their reserves and became more active in several directions at once. We are talking about Okol, Vasiliev, Bakhmut, Bagoni. I cannot pronounce in these locations. This was announced by the Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Anna Maliar. In turn, Zelensky's aide, Mikhail Podolyak, rejected strengthening the power of Prigozhin or Putin through and or for full mobilization and intensification of actions in Ukraine. Podolyak said that the future of the Kremlin will be forced to focus on strengthening power inside Russia, which does not have enough resources to mobilize. Oh, you poor unfortunate soul. You have no idea. It's a lot of weird accounts. I'm not sure if playing Wagner on the Polish board, though, is good. That might be an accident waiting to happen. We'll have to see. We will have to see. It is not a coincidence that many who were telling you Putin was about to begin the Gaddafi treatment were also peddling Russia hoax for years. You know why that is, right? Because they were all in on it. It's a very complicated situation, but yeah. Look at this. Look at this clown, though. Richard Hanaya. There's no good ending for the Russian people that doesn't recognize their entire culture and civilization model has failed, and the country has to be remade along Western lines. Tough pill to swallow, but every other path is absurd disaster. Yeah. When I'll touch. Yes, Russia is clearly crying out for its own, Richard Hanana. Yeah, no. Says the Western elite with a superiority complex. That's what I hate about people in the West. They always have this superiority complex because we've had so good for too long. Sorry, my ears are itchy. Catturd called it. Let's see. Your boy Catturd called it. So called it 18 hours ago. I don't care about the planned distraction in Russia. I care about the solid proof of Joe and Hunter's treason. I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the committee, the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. And if I get a call or text from anyone involved with this, other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here right now, waiting for the call with my father. This is all distraction from the Hunter Bidens, because if you look more into the Hunter Biden and this is distraction from the Joe Biden impeachment. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden need to be in prison. They're really hoping that it was going to last longer. Make Babylon desolate again. Rammar. I've got, you know what? If I ever do commission merch, that is going to be a shirt. Make Babylon desolate again. That is a great, honestly, and you will get the credit, my friend. You will get the credit, my friend. Also, I need you to know, are you for this? Are you for this? Poon, Netflix original. Yeah. Fortunately, I think this is where we're going to end it at. Like the video, share, comment, subscribe. And I will see you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.